Woo!
Live.
Hello.
Live.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Thank you so much for all of the super chats and the happy birthdays. Those are really appreciated. I wanted to introduce, I know you guys have seen her, Adrian. She's over there in the corner. Adrian. And we have Miss Ona. Wait, Miss Ona's over here underneath Jenny from Ona's Tarot. And we have Auntie Dr. Lena. Wait, Lena Rodriguez. I can't point. She's down there below.
That's right.
They joined in today for the birthday because they want to be here. So thank you guys so much. We have Jenny right next door over here, and then Johnie down here. Yeah. So thank you, everybody, so much. Does anyone have any special announcements for any stuff coming up on your channels or anything you want to?
Well, first of all, happy birthday from all of us. We hope you have many more.
Happy birthday.
I just wanted to say a big thank you to Sylvia, who has inundated me with nice wool socks and all kinds of goodies. Thank you so much for packages today. And I am live with Jody Roberts doing Sacred Sounds of Coffee again on Tuesday, October 26th at 10 a.m. Central Time on Jody Roberts' channel. And then Johnie will fill you in. I'm with him a couple of times coming up soon. He's posted on his community tab.
And me and Lori from The Way Positive Change believe we're going live Thursday the 21st. I'll double check, but I believe Thursday. But on my channel, but we will post the exact time. I believe it would probably be 6 Central, 7 Central, but I'll post the exact details. But look forward to us on Thursday.
I'm doing my daily message potty break prediction 4-minute videos in the morning, trying to navigate the cosmic waves, right? Trying to make it more personal. I have an interview coming up, and I honestly can't remember her name, but the channel is Heart and Soul Connected. She contacted me and wants to do an interview, which I think is really cool.
Allie, she's fantastic. I just worked with her the other day, last week, earlier this week. She's absolutely fantastic.
She's adorable. And I said, yeah, sounds like fun. And she's like, oh, so we're going to connect at some point and talk and interview. And that's pretty much it. I'm kind of in between doing a lot of artwork right now, getting ready for shows. I have a lot of product in stores and, trying to keep it together.
Where's Becca? Okay, who's got some questions?
Are we back?
Yes, we're back.
Very retrograde because everything like spinny, and I was like, oh.
Right? Reverie. It's stationing like
which way do I go? Which way do I go? And also we are also celebrating Adrian's birthday. Over there, Adrian, her birthday was on the 14th.
Oh, and happy birthday to Lynn Tarot, who couldn't join us tonight.
Happy birthday, Lynn.
Lynn Tarot, her birthday is today. She's out with her kids for dinner. And also for Janice Russ in the chat, if you're here, her birthday is on the 19th. So happy early birthday to you. Okay. You share a birthday with my brother-in-law. So happy birthday.
And to all the Libras.
To all the Libras. And so I hate to get you guys into the muck right off the bat. But
oh, yeah, sure. We're at home in the muck.
Let's go into the muck.
Let's go for it.
Donald Trump's being deposed this week.
Tomorrow.
And it's over the lawsuit, right, Jenny?
It's over a lawsuit against his bodyguards for attacking people.
It was back in 2015. And it was outside Trump Tower. And it was when he first made those statements, Mexicans were rapists and drug dealers.
When he was coming down the escalator?
Sorry?
Was it when he announced his presidency, when he was coming down?
No, I think it was even before. Oh, well, he'd announced it, but it was before he was voted in, right? But there was a protest outside Trump Tower, and some Mexican protesters were roughed up by his bodyguard, Keith Schiller. So he's going to, be called in for that. So it's not the big juicy stuff, but it's still important. What will he do? What will he say?
I had heard, and please correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows, because I haven't really been watching the news, but I thought it was going to be a recorded deposition. Like he's not going to be in court deposing.
No, that's right. It's a video deposition.
Oh God, I would love to see him squirm like a worm on a hook, man. I don't recall.
See, a lot of these things, they're not going to record. They're not going to allow cameras.
No, but for him, it's a recorded deposition that goes to the court, not for, the public thing. But can we look to see how that's gonna go when he gets deposed?
Like will he do it, and then will he lie?
Well, he was ordered by a judge, I think, correct? So
Yeah.
he has no choice.
Yes. Well, we'll see what that means in the modern world.
Yeah.
He thinks he's above the law, so will he even do it?
Well, why wouldn't he think that?
Yeah.
We seem to have let him get away with everything. So
Yeah.
Well, there it is. Yep.
Okay, this deposition in New York.
I get the feeling now that he's like one of those people, like they're letting Grandpa drive to the grocery store. Like they're like, okay, and then they take his keys away at night and they lock him in his room because he wanders. But they let him do these things like, here, you can go to your rally. Nobody takes this guy seriously.
It's like they're letting Grandpa out of the house in his diapers when he's not dressed,
Yeah.
Oh my word. What's this?
Oh, okay. Let's just do the outcome.
Jen, by the way, I love your glasses.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm. You look nice.
They do. Very good on you.
Thank you. I start out with Justice on the bottom. He's going to share a little bit, as little as he has to. He's not going to share a lot of light on things, but it's because he's pressured by the courts. It's going to be a rough road. It'll be a little bit of a media circus too. Like they're going to be all over it, but he offers up a little bit so that America can see that he's cooperating. I get that he will talk. The problem is, these bodyguards were the emissary for him, and there's a lot at play here because he's corrupt. And he told them to show strength, like overboard, show strength. And I get the court's not having it. He may have to come back in a second time and talk, is what I'm getting. And that causes anxiety.
He wants to walk away. He don't want to show up. He don't want to go. But unfortunately, because he's just not interested, because we know by talking, he gonna tell on himself. He can't help it. That's actually his challenge, is the Ace of Swords, this clarity of truth. However, this is in the immediate future. He's going to have to show up. He's going to have to say something with the judgment card. What I think is very, very funny, his word of warning is temperance. If I had to give the former president any advice, I'd be like, don't lie because you'll perjure yourself, but you may not want to tell the whole truth either. This is the one time I would be rooting for you to say you don't know, because it's not going to bode well. And actually, he is going to try to do that. There's information he's trying to hold on to with the Four of Pentacles is my outcome card. I pulled some clarifiers, but that is going to be a burden. he's going to be out in the cold with the 5 of Cups because that is his strategy with the 7 of Swords being sneaky. So I'm with you, Jen. He's going to have to come back. This trying to hold on and be tight-lipped is not going to work out well because they're going to see right through it. He's going to have to come back for part 2.
I get that they're going to have to do this multiple times. And so not multiple times as in I'm pretty sure he'll have to give multiple statements, but as in whatever recorded video, they're going to have to stop and redo and stop and redo and stop and redo. He may not remember all of his lines, or he may, I get the Page of Swords. So he kind of goes on a tangent a little bit. That's kind of the Gemini power. We can start with one message and then start talking about something, and that was one word in that message, and then make a whole speech out of it. And then next thing you know, he's telling something he shouldn't have. Like, I got up this morning, I ate bacon and eggs, and nobody knows more about breakfast than me. And then there is no collusion with me and breakfast. I just want you to know that. It's like, so he goes into this tangent. So you have to do it and do it and do it. Now, the 9 of Swords and 7 of Swords means he has a lie, which means he's going to have to come back and make some other sort of statement, or they need to get him cornered, like under oath or whatever the case may be. But yeah, he is going to lie, though. I mean, his lips are moving, so he has no choice.
What are you getting, Miss Ona?
Well, I have him. This is the figure here. This is the queer, right? They've got the gluttony, the sin of gluttony. Jen, please, honey. And it's the same kind of thing. There's, everybody is like swirling around the court, right? The owl is representing the court. Everybody's kind of swirling around it. Sort of, I don't want to say filibustering because that's a word that's sort of everybody's listening to right now, but that kind of thing, like throwing darts into it and not making much sense. And it's going to be difficult to get information out of him.
Yeah.
What are you getting, Auntie Lena?
Yeah, just quickly, because much the same with this deck I'm using. I think this judge means business, right? He's not going to be able to wriggle out entirely, even though he behaves as a child. And this is the 9 of Pentacles equivalent, the good life. He can't believe anyone's ordering him around. He still can't come to grips with that. He's going to put a fig leaf over his role in it. I think the more interesting thing is, will Schiller wear this? Because the bodyguard's defense is, he said to do it. So otherwise he has to take responsibility for an assault. And that's where this card, which is very murky and weird, comes in, the Stranger of Tides. So I think the relationship will deteriorate after this deposition, and that could have effects down the road.
So you're saying that he'll throw his bodyguards under the bus to save his own?
Yeah. No, that's what I employ these guys for. That's what they do. I don't know what they do.
Yeah.
But as I understand with this case, why it's a bit interesting is they're using the defense that he said, remember, to the cops, it doesn't matter if you bang their heads on the car, it doesn't matter if you do this, move that. So those incidences of him inciting violence are being brought into play.
Right.
So he's going to be out with, I didn't mean it, locker room talk,
I get that he's kind of nervous about the whole situation. He's got some anxiety. He's going to presume to be innocent or act a bit naive, but it's going to be very, very difficult for him because the messaging is just not there. Like, there could be evidence against him because it shows pain and suffering at the end. So,
I think there's a little bit more to this than meets the eye. On the surface, it looks like nothing compared with trying to cajole the Ukraine,
Yeah.
But often with these guys, it's these things that they don't focus on that bring them undone,
Yes.
Good point.
Yes. So, getting off the orange Mussolini, Lindsey Graham.
Oh, that one.
Is he still getting Lady G? What does Johnny call him? Mint Julep?
Yeah.
He's still being investigated in Georgia, correct?
Is that right?
No,
He's no longer being investigated in Georgia?
they haven't started an investigation.
They stopped it?
They haven't started it.
They haven't started one.
Oh, they haven't started it. Okay.
Sorry, is this his role in the Georgia stuff?
When he called and said,
called.
"Hey,
Just hide them. Just lose
Hide
the
them.
votes.
lose some votes,"
See, I can't tell you what. If I were you, what we may have done in South Carolina a couple days ago was we just lost it to them.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
The next thing you know was like, you do know this is being recorded, right? You dummy.
And then he gets, I'm sorry, I'm going
Is that
Is that what happened?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he
Nice.
called. Well, the thing is, they don't have a recording of him calling the Georgia people. If they recorded Trump because of what Lindsey Graham did.
Lindsey Graham right now is just word of mouth, or he said, she said. One person said he called us and said, "Hey, lose some votes," and then he could, of course, just say, "No, I didn't." But of
But
course,
wouldn't that kind of be different when you're under oath?
I mean, as the devil flies out.
That's a
If you
funny.
can prove it, if you can prove it, sure, then you can prove I'm lying, and then we got a whole nother problem. But if it's just my word against yours, then what does that mean in court? Nothing.
Yeah.
Because what is the gavel coming down on?
Yeah, it's inadmissible.
So should we even look at Lindsey Graham?
We can't see if there's going to be an investigation ever.
Okay, so want to do that? Will Lindsey Graham be investigated for his role in the Georgia elections?
Or anything.
Because mind you, he rigged his election too.
Right.
They all did, Johnny.
Yep.
He called 6 other states also, not just Georgia.
Yeah, not just Georgia.
Because there was a majority of people in South Carolina who woke up Wednesday morning like,
Yeah.
wow,
Right.
huh?
Right.
Yep.
Thank you, Marie. I'm looking at the
Aja and Desiree and
yeah.
KO, and I saw like 16 more.
I did.
And Sue, Esso. Thank you all so much for your generosity.
I'm over here with my
Wow.
this is my dinner. It's a cheese plate. Check this out, you guys.
What is it? What is it? What is it? Nice, a charcuterie. Girl,
Yum,
That's a
yum.
nice birthday thing right there.
Yum,
my
yum,
dinner.
yum.
Mhm.
There's a birthday candle on there too. What is it stuck in?
Allie P in the chat was so kind to send me something from Edible Arrangement. So I have a whole entire box full of chocolate covered strawberries, Johnny.
Oh,
If I can
stop.
send them.
Nice.
They're delicious, but there's this little baby cake in there. Look, it's like a little baby cheesecake.
Oh,
So cute.
Nice.
So that was in the box. I was like, oh, I have a cheesecake.
Adorable. And thank you,
Thank you
Carol.
so much, Allie.
So I get Justice's like just in chaos on him. He's still standing on higher ground, although I get he's complete with Trump, like he's done with him. But he's in with the donors. What I get is there'll be victory in courts over the donors or something that he's done with a donor, where he's or maybe the funds for the insurrection, because I had the fighting card there with all that money. So maybe he gets caught up somehow with that, but he gets a peace offering from the Republican Party. So I don't know. He might have to go away eventually, like exit stage left, but it's going to be a while because he's corrupt and he's got all the Republicans sticking up for him. Thank you, Uma.
Thanks, Uma. I wish I had more positive cards about this investigation under Lady G, but I just I don't know, maybe, because I do know his outcome is his fate's going to change, Wheel of Fortune. So something is going to come. It's inevitable. But the issue is that we want so badly for his dealings with Trump and everybody else to just come to surface. But the challenge is the Chariot's slow movement. It's going to take a while. He's good at saying the right thing when nobody's paying attention or making sure he's not recorded, especially the money, because there's going to try to be what they're going to try to go after him for is illumination on the money. At the base of this is the sun, and at the crown is the Nine of Pentacles, and also dirty money dealings in the past too, with the Three of Pentacles in the past. But he's being protected right now with the Lover's card, because calling out Lindsay calls out everybody else. So they're covering for him. I just don't necessarily see it happening, though, because I think I pulled some more clarifiers with the Wheel of Fortune. I think he's going to be able, with the Magician, to kind of cover and hide, pull some wool over some eyes. He hasn't been a senator this long for nothing. He's able to phone a friend. Thank you, Charlene.
Yeah, you just read my card, so
Yeah.
I got the King of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. So yeah, there would be something coming his way. A legal battle. It all stems from money, oddly enough, and not like election tampering, which I think would be a big deal. But something with the Three of Pentacles, like Adrian just got, there's his burden. His burden is money. His burden is dealings. His burdens are usually with all of them. It's always who you're connected to. It's not you. They don't really do these things alone. So it's always who you're connected to. So there is some sort of maybe even a laundering aspect to this too. Or some little shell thing or some donation or whatever the case may be, but that's there. But here's, okay, take this with a grain of salt. Okay, before we even go here. There's Seven of Wands. He is being successfully defended by the Republican Party, which could mean, does not mean, it could mean that he may have a majority in the Senate at some point. To where if he gets called to the carpet, there's no majority to take him down. So he is successfully defended by his own party or by his something of that nature. So keep that in mind when you feel like, oh, this is all horrible. I'm not going to vote. I'm so sick of this and sick of that. Keep this in mind. We don't have half the things we should have right now. Never mind. That's a rant. So don't own your.
He's always one step ahead. He's one step ahead. He's been doing this forever. There's, in between sort of skating around, we get these cards where the brilliance comes in, the King of Books. Like there's not evidence. There's a lot of conjecture, but there's no evidence because he's a step ahead. And the final card, honestly, look at him. Look.
What card is that, Ona? Is that a shark?
This is the Page of Books. Okay, this is the Page of Books. Basically, it's just somebody floating along and kind of out of it, just sort of, not really paying attention to much anything that's going on, but sort of involved in their tiny little bubble.
Because he doesn't have to.
Yep, exactly.
Thank you, Judy.
Miss Lynn, what you get?
Me. So I'm using different cards. Here, he's thinking about it because, it's in the ether. This card's interesting. This is him, I think, separating the fighting children. This is why he stepped in the first place was, he was the grown up, I'll do this for this one, that for that one. He was used to doing that. I think there will be some sort of subpoena or paperwork in some context coming towards him. Then it appears that his luck runs out in Italian. Felicita perduta, that's the lost luck. And I thought, oh, good. But then I drew another card. Should have stopped there. And this is the reunion, which is what you've all got. This is the party coming back to smother it. So I think it'll be, a 1 week news cycle where it'll all be about Lindsay for a minute and then, business as usual.
For him being investigated, I get there's a really good chance because of the results or the messages that were sent out to his little network of people here. And there's a really good chance he may get subpoenaed.
That's what
or something like that for the people in the party, or and it couldn't. I don't know if the other states are getting involved, but it's saying there's a good chance he has a risk here, you know. So maybe it's tied into the whole Trump stuff in Georgia. I don't know. I don't know. So.
Okay, someone's saying, can we identify our cards because the stream is blurry?
Oh, okay. Yes, that's okay.
It looks clear here.
Yeah, it looks clear here in StreamYard, but it feeds into YouTube. So the connection.
Yeah.
If it's blurry for you, then you may have lag on your stream, or you may need to change your resolution. Because if it was blurry for everybody, it would be on our end. But if it's blurry just for you, it's your internet connection.
Yeah, because it looks clear on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. So can we look at, there was a question on the community page for us to see the future of social media. So I guess that would include everything like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Okay, let's try and narrow it down a bit then.
Yeah.
I think what people are wanting to know is, will there be some checks and balances for the big platforms?
Okay.
Right? Or not?
Okay. That makes sense.
I think Facebook has cleaned up a little bit of its mess.
I don't even go on Facebook, Ona. The only time I go on there is to go to a candle group when I have questions about my candles.
Okay. Yeah. There are some astrology groups that are good. Even like astrology, if some of the same ones that are on YouTube, and it's those kinds of things, you know, instructional things or finding people to fix your house or whatever. But
yeah,
it's supposed to be cleaned up a little bit. I don't know. But let's see. Great question.
Thank you, Lily, for the super chat.
Thank you.
I get there's too much money behind it. It's like, regretfully, they're hanging on to their power, even though they've caused heartache for young people and stuff, and they're successful, and it's all the men with money creating chaos. They're gonna spout those people in power at those social media groups, or they're gonna talk about how they're changing and doing things. It's a show, you know. But the truth is, it's going to be very erratic, and they're gonna walk away from creating any kind of laws. There will be some kind of thing about getting more transparency in their work, you know, like putting an end to some of the things that they do and getting some transparency there, especially with young people. But I get, ultimately, there's just an abundance of money there, and they're going to do what they're going to do.
Got the same exact thing. 10 of Pentacles. It's all about money. These got the Emperor. This to me is the Zuckerbergs, the what's his name at Twitter, even China, who owns TikTok. They are all in this together because they all kind of support each other with the Six of Pentacles, this sharing, this back and forth. They need each other. They can't let social media go down because it'll ruin everybody else. If there's checks and balances on one, then it's going to spread across the others.
Yeah, it is tricky.
They don't want that. They're actually holding on. They want to hold on to how it's currently run with the Four of Pentacles. But yeah, I think fortune and fate is on their side right now. Because there's too many there's too much money involved. It's just not. I don't see I don't get anywhere that the change is going to come. Not that how I think most people want to see it. I just don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I get that with a first card I get is a 7 of Cups.
Mm-hmm.
The law has not caught up to anything internet, anything like Facebook post and bullying post and all these different things that you would try to call the police for. It just hasn't caught up to that. How do you catch a person with an IP address? It's like, so you have to, there's a lot of stuff there. So as far as regulations goes, there's no clear path. There's a lot of different things you can do. Thank you, Terry. But there's not a lot of things that you're going to get past. Like you can try to come up with anything, but you got to get it through this house and this committee, that person, this person, and all this type of stuff. And, not to try to knock our chronology. How do you say that? Chronology. I can't say that word.
Chronologically.
Thank you. Advanced people. I was trying not to say old people.
That's me.
Not to knock the old people, but in our Congress, a lot of them don't understand social media. When the guy from Google sat there and says, "Why does my son's iPhone, when he types in the word stupid," this was on it was recorded. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump's picture pops up or something like that, and he said, awesome. "We're Apple. We're not Apple. We're Google." But I could try to explain to you that so they don't understand half of these things.
Yeah.
They're trying to assess a way forward. Social media will always be here going forward. The thing right now, the fight is to create a space. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok sort of owns the space right now. So if you have a smaller social media platform like Getter and Parler and all those type of things, it's hard to get into these spaces because these things control so much of the market. Yeah. And then for like Google, Alphabet is their parent company, but that's one of the biggest companies in the world. They had a social media platform too. They couldn't get in this space either. So this is going to be the hard part. Social media will always be here, just trying to assess a way forward, like I said, but trying to create a space for yourself is the challenge going forward.
What do you have, Miss Ona?
Well, this is social media. There it is. Banquet Infernal, right? It's the devil. Look at everybody's partying. It's really about these, like the ways and means. Remember when YouTube said you can't say COVID, you can't say vaccine, you can't. We're all like, our speech is getting murdered. So it's kind of the same thing. People feel like even though they've overstepped their boundaries with the freedom of speech, if you try and shut it down, it's not going to work. I get their balance. Maybe this is a split where, groups get splintered where their guidelines and protocols are a little different, and maybe you can do some of that instead of this free speech stuff. And six of wands at the end. So there is reward. There's recognition. There's, it will taper to where it's suited for your personal, your own personal style, I think.
Well, I agree with that. I think it's a case of careful what you wish for too, because if another thing, we as tarot readers or whatever could be seen as, right, off the wall or something else and be blocked down the track. It's a fine line between, any form of censorship and authoritarianism. So I think the attempts will be made to be a bit more reasonable. Temperance, I don't know what that really means. They're going to keep fighting it. And people, the same card as Johnie got, are still hostage to the big ones. If I think here, the Knight of Wands, I think as people move forward, parents and schools much earlier need to be teaching people how to assess where the information comes from. Yeah. So rather than banning it, it's more effective to look at where it comes from, try and get younger people to be more discerning. You know what I mean by that? It's sort of, that's more important result, I think, than just stopping those voices. So maybe it could be that because everyone operates in their echo chamber.
Yes.
Oh, you've read 50 articles now supporting this point of view. Here are some suggestions, if you want, that could go to both sides of a question, just drawing people's attention to it.
Yeah.
You've now looked at 100 sites that are not verified. Perhaps you'd like to comment on that or do something about that. I mean, people will just exit out and go on, but it's something that just draws their attention to it or something.
Okay. Okay. And it's interesting that you say that, because that brings up another question that I have, or another topic. But I get no.
Yeah.
Where's your social, the group, the community of people, and then the site? No. So
because they really can't, in a way, when you think of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, here's something interesting, Lena. You were just talking about, you just read 500 articles about this, and now read 100 about this. Well, you will not believe. Did you hear the news of what they're trying to do in Texas now?
Oh my gosh, that was the one. That was a topic.
What? Tell me.
So there is is it a certain county in Houston, Adrian?
Yes.
Oh, that wanted to deny the Holocaust?
Yes.
Get the other point of view of the Holocaust.
The other point of view of the Holocaust. Yes, we killed millions of people because, well, we were bored. Like, what possible opposing view can you have on the atrocities that the Nazis?
They have backed off that, though, haven't they, since then?
Last I heard, it was like, no.
I heard yesterday they had.
No.
And it was almost an apology, saying there is no other point of view for the Holocaust from the head of that county board.
Stephanie says it's in Oklahoma too. And here's the thing about that, though. If you came up with it once, you will come up with it again.
Yep.
Because in your brain lives something that shouldn't. You decided we want this idea of just because I have a different point of view, both point of view in the same space. No. The world is round, it is not flat. That does not mean just because you believe it's flat, I need to hold a conversation with you. What's stupid is stupid, period. The Holocaust happened. There is no other point of view to that. Just because you have one does not mean we need to share the same space.
Yeah.
That may sound like intolerant, but at some point, we have got to get to a place where we're not trying to bring everybody aboard in this regression conversation. No, I'm not.
As someone said, you can have your own opinion, but you can't have your own facts.
Yes.
Exactly. There's facts, and then there's opinion. There's no in between.
It wasn't just the Holocaust, though. They also had on the list the Civil War. Like, okay, well, the alternate opinion that the South won, what's the alternate opinion of that? The
alternate opinion.
But here's the thing on that example. If you look at the use of the Confederate flag and everything else, they're convinced they have one.
Yeah. But they also,
and I would refer you to the liberal redneck on exactly that issue.
Yeah, they also had things like on the Jim Crow laws and stuff. So it was very targeted racist crap. It was, they just don't want to come out and admit everything they had on their list was racist agenda.
The other sideism of why slavery was cool, totally cool. Holocaust, that's totally cool. Civil War, totally cool. I don't.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Yeah. The alternate side of the Holocaust, eugenics. I don't know. What is it?
I know. You know what? It's so ridiculous. I saw that Friday on Rachel Maddow, right? Was it somebody covering for her that they were going to try and teachers, honestly. The fight is, and gosh, and you've been in that place where administration wants you to do something is ridiculous. But you're forced to sort of follow that protocol anyway and kind of, really, wink and a nod kind of not follow it.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just,
the other thing that they were doing in Texas, after signing the abortion ban, is trying to privatize foster care. Well, of course, there's going to be more kids in foster care, and trying to privatize it so that they make millions off that. It was crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So can we look, besides, like, is there, it's blatantly obvious that it's absolute racism with these a-holes, but is there another reason? Is there a strategy to continually push these denialism type viewpoints? I mean, because it's
I don't think we have to read on that. I think it is absolutely part of a deliberate ideal. Keep people stupid, makes them docile, or at least docile from your point of view as the ruling class.
Yeah.
Make them angry with each other. It's the whole of it. Let's put up a wall, keeping the Mexicans out, and then no one's there to pick the beans, like it.
Right.
Yeah, of course, it's deliberate.
Yeah.
But it's just like when the whole thing about critical race theory started coming up, then they started pushing for don't teach the Civil War. So you're just going to deny history of it, like the Nazis burning books just because you don't teach it doesn't mean it didn't, I see what you're saying, Lena, but it's like, how could that, besides keeping you in power, like it doesn't matter if you're in power when your entire like community, your country, the public is in absolute chaos. You know what I mean? Like you can live behind the pearly gates.
Sorry, go on.
You can live behind the pearly gates, but everything else around it, kind of like, Nero singing while Rome burned, like that. So I don't know.
Well, I think if people are divided and fearful, chaos works.
Yes.
For the conservative agenda. You really want them hating other people, other with a capital O, as defined by me, your GOP representative.
So I got now, mind you, take this with a grain of salt because I hold a predetermined opinion on this, and so when you hold for those learning tarot, when you tend to hold an opinion beforehand, you don't necessarily always read the cards the way they are. You sort of find your answer within the cards and then you repeat it. So you can say I've done that if you want. So just to put that out there for complete transparency. But what I get is keep them poor, keep them sick, keep them stupid. That's the way you control your masses. Keep them afraid of the other all the time. Whoever the other is, it changes a lot. It can be black people, Mexican people, blonde people, whoever people. It changes. But I get the world. There's your public. Then I get the death card, the Seven of Swords. Major change, but it's a scheme. They want this to also be an overtime thing too. To where we need these people who are little to grow up with these set of thoughts, these set of beliefs. So I got the Page of Wands and the Three of Swords. It is meant to divide and conquer type thing. And divide and conquer may even be strong. It's just meant to divide. And then you can destroy yourselves.
It's a lot easier to conquer when they're divided, whether that's the intention or not. That's what's going to inevitably happen.
But it's like, but at the same time, it's like let's go with the theory that we're just not going to teach slavery. We're not going to teach about, we're going to, other sideism, the atrocities committed by Nazi Germany. Well, now you have generations of stupid people, which gives you ground for another person to commit those atrocities or even worse. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it almost appears to be self-defeating in the end. Do you see what? Am I making sense? It's
yeah, except it doesn't. Cause the worst of the power brokers around the world, it's a very crude dynamic. It's not a subtle thing that builds up. It's really quite crude. It was like Duterte in the Philippines going, I'm going to get rid of this drug problem. I'm going to just shoot all the drug dealers, right?
Yeah.
Now, the shortest line between 2 points, if you're in a drug-infested, village that's been held hostage to the temple, I want a strong man, and then of course it's their nephews and sons and brother-in-laws who are being shot, then they've got a problem. So it doesn't tend to wear out or even work against them. It just means the next one can come on top, And
then you add to that, they just came out and said the wealth gap got bigger, wider during the pandemic. So,
That's scary.
who's leading this march? The wealthy, the lobbyists, those that can afford to pay big money to get their way.
And that is widening all over the world. I mean, one of the figures I use with my students is in the 1970s, a CEO of a company on average earned 7 times what someone on their factory floor earned. 7 times. Now it's 300 times.
Wow.
Yeah. And think about social media.
It's all there. It's in that, because that's why no one can afford a house now or anything else, because wages have stayed here, and this keeps going up. And people, that's why Reagan destroyed the unions, etc. Because you have no comeback. You're just grateful to have a job, and you have to work 87 hours a day.
But think about social media's role in it too, in dividing the country, because what else were people doing during a pandemic but watching social media all the time?
Yeah.
It's like they had to have a huge increase in their profits over the last year.
And that's why someone like AOC does represent a real threat to them, because in 2 sentences she can sum up Katie Porter too.
Yeah.
They can sum up this real injustice that we all live with every single day in 2 sentences.
Yes.
And that is fully scary, because they rely on people not actually following economics or following politics for that matter. They just lead with their emotions,
Yeah.
I can do that. So as soon as someone crunches the numbers and says, this is your experience, that is a threat. So bring those women out, I reckon.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I had a question and it fell out of my head. It really did. It just kind of like fell out of my head. So we were talking about the Texas stuff. I can't think right now.
The Civil War, not teaching history.
Yeah, that we're creating people. Honestly, I feel like this is really just one of those efforts to, regain some of their lost statues that we ripped down, because we don't want to listen to that crap anymore.
They get a couple of hundred of loudmouth, MAGA people in there in those school board meetings, and it just gets all over the press. It gets a lot of attention, and the majority of people want their children to learn the truth.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what we did in Chicago? We took the statue of Christopher Columbus away, right? Because he was an asshole.
Yes.
And then on Columbus Day, the United Italian American Society took it out of storage, brought it downtown or something, and had sub sandwiches and stuff there to celebrate Christmas. Like 6 Italian Americans showed up, and then they packed it up and they put it back in the garage. So they had this little party tailored to these people that just needed to celebrate for whatever reason. And that's what kind of happens is, people are just trying to grab at anything to hold on to whatever tradition.
Yeah. And the problem is, if it was just half a dozen people who were sentimental, it wouldn't be too bad. But the damage is done to a certain extent. The sentence that Christopher Columbus discovered America is all over right there. That just wipes out the indigenous population of the country in a sentence.
That's a problem too. Why are you sentimental over something horrible?
Right.
Right.
Find Hitler in Germany, anywhere.
Yeah. again, it's a sliding scale of powerlessness. So when you think how badly early Italian immigrants were treated, etc., the one thing they could cling on to in 1864 or 1903 was, wow, he was one of us, you know. So we love Christopher Columbus, even though you're an abused factory worker and he was a rich kid who was paid to float around the world and get it wrong. He thought he was finding Asia, but that's, you see what I mean? You know, it's just that.
He was a Donald Trump of their era. The idiot that couldn't get it right, but had all the money. You know, like.
But we have the same issue in Australia Day here. Yeah. Australia Day celebrates white Australia, right? You know, so the settlers coming, and for Aboriginal people or those who identify to support Aboriginal people, it's Invasion Day, and it's different vocabulary and different events. They run parallel, but they've got a different thing. Yeah. And white Australia still goes out and gets drunk and, you know, vomits everywhere and says, isn't it great? You know, and you just go, oh.
Well, on a positive note, I got something to read on.
Okay.
They came out. They said that COVID now, they think it may cause infertility.
I know, Jenny. I told you that it breaks your dick. So all
now they'll get vaxxed.
Have fun with your broken dick because Viagra ain't gonna fix it. Okay, have fun with that. But okay.
Someone told me just this week, Viagra ads are the most common ad in the US. Is that true?
Very
normal TV, not
Viagra.
All medicines,
there's
really.
Another one of them. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
What?
So
I've never seen one on television here.
Cialis is another one that's really popular.
That one is, I see that one more than Viagra. Viagra seems to be more in magazines.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was the funny question about the broken dicks, Jenny?
I want to know, will we see an increase in people getting vaccinated because they're afraid of infertility?
Okay.
For entertainment purposes,
Getting the virus causes infertility, or
the virus causes,
because weren't they saying the vax was
or can cause?
Okay, you guys.
Now this sentence.
I have another digression in the words of Auntie Lena. Did you know, I don't mean to be gross, but did you know there is a whole group of anti-vax men that are trying to sell their seed because it has not been genetically changed? I'm not kidding you.
Yes, it has. Oh my God.
Are they selling it like on eBay? Does it come in a cooler? What are you doing?
That is so hilarious.
I'm like, no, I don't think I want a child with an IQ of like 2. No,
I cannot.
Not with your genes.
I can't because, oh goodness, I'm trying to be nice. I'm holding.
I bet there's a market for breast milk out there too.
What was that, Ona?
I bet there's a market for breast milk out there too.
Yeah, non-COVID breast. I mean, geez, Louise.
Oh yeah.
Open up like a lemonade stand over there in the corner with.
One of the comments was a stud farm from the dud farm.
What's the question? Does the virus cause? Can the virus cause? I never really thought about that. I've heard all kinds. Oh my gosh.
So what's our actual question? Will this take hold as an idea? Is that right?
Will they see an increase in people getting vaccinated because they're afraid of infertility?
Okay.
Oh, good God.
I get if death doesn't get them first.
Seriously.
Sad to say, because I get like they're feeling quite secure. The challenge is the support, the information that's coming off. Oh no, we could lose our fertility. So there's an opportunity here. It's creating chaos. It's like, oh gosh. I get victory card. Yep, they're gonna like start lining up. Emotions overflowing, and oh my, have I already been affected because I already had COVID, last year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't.
What, Adrian? Say it, Adrian. Say it.
Stupid is real strong with this group. So
Look at Johnny's card too.
I don't know if that. I think if they do it, it is very reluctant. None of my cards say yes. They just say they all. I mean, seven of cups. I call it so dumb. I can't. They're defending. They're holding on to this belief because again, stupid is strong with this group. So I'm gonna say none of my cards say yes. There will. It's gonna say I don't think so. I just don't. The cards are telling me no. I can't. I'm trying to spin this into straw and I can't, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They've already drunk the Kool-Aid. They can't change their mind now.
Hey, but at least we don't have to worry about them polluting the gene pool further. So that's a plus, right?
Yeah, because there's the death card,
Right.
Yeah.
The other alternative.
Yeah.
Okay, keep your fertility, but you died. That'll make you infertile too.
Well, that's exactly what I got. That story. Oh my god. Yeah.
So I start with the 7 of Wands, getting to the higher ground, successfully defending your ideas, ideals, and beliefs. 3 of Swords and the Fool. Stupid is strong. Stupid is real strong. And I say stupid. Now it's misinformation, but there's a difference between skeptic and denier. Denier has the facts and they say no anyway. Skeptic is, I want more information to make a more informed decision. They are deniers. They know, but they don't choose to act upon what it is they know. Some of them anyway. But that Fool and that 3 of Swords, they still don't believe us. It does not matter what we tell them. That, you'd say your penis is going to fall off. They still would not believe it until they woke up one morning and they were peeing out of a hole in their body. So they still would not care what we say. I get the 5 of Wands and the 10 of Wands. It is too heavy for them to admit that they are wrong. Sort of cost fallacy at this point. They have to keep believing it because they have been believing it for so long. This is what makes a person go and get horse tranquilizer medicine or whatever the hell they got nowadays. So they don't care what your facts are. All they care about is what they heard from Cousin Joe or whoever else they got their information from.
The retiree in Mar-a-Lago.
Yes, stupid is strong.
Thank you, Terry.
The retiree in Mar-a-Lago with a PhD in stupid. That guy. What'd you get, Miss Ona?
I got that there is going to be movement to get more protection. This is sort of the wishy-washy. This is the Chariot card. This is my health deck, right? So, and that's circulation. It's also genetics, motherhood. That is motherhood. That's the mom card. Okay, so there's a genetic component that this might be something that makes them get more protection. This is King of Wands. This is protection, right? And that it actually, for men, there's more of a concern that COVID has issues with cardiac muscle, and that's more of a concern than broke dick.
I'm all for broke dick. What, Adrian?
I'm gonna actually need you not to be for that. I'm gonna just need you to be for that for maybe.
Don't you have to have a strong heart to pump blood through the body to get the? You know what? Never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
You're using facts, madam. You're using facts.
I'm trying. I'm not Doogie Howser, but typically, I don't think that make it make sense.
Adrian, you know, because there has been stuff on the news where the anti-vaxxers are in the hospital about to be intubated, still denying that they have COVID.
Oh yeah.
Yep. You are on your deathbed. You may not come out of this, and they are still in denial. Like that's
I already yelled at myself for trying to make sense out of something that doesn't make sense.
I mean, it's like you said, stupid is strong.
Oh, yeah.
It is strong, exactly.
Goodness gracious.
What'd you get, Lena?
Well, here I get the wild Mustangs representing that sort of masculinity. They're being asked to make a judgment. There's no right. This is the judgment cap. But they choose death over changing their minds. Like Anakin.
Oh, yeah.
This is a strong
What can you say?
pull. Yeah.
Was there a sword in that coffin?
Oh, look, you got it too.
Yeah, they're dying. There's probably a sword in that coffin.
Look, that raises the other issue. You know, all jokes aside, how history is going to read this, that the GOP is letting its voters drop dead. What is, can we read on that?
That's why you have Lindsay and Trump saying, go get vaccinated, and they got booed. Both of them.
Yeah.
What'd you get, Becca?
I gotta know. I got the cross. Like,
Yeah.
okay, have fun with your broke dick. Can't put it in a cast, but
They're afraid it'll get magnetized.
yeah, pray that it'll get magnetized and go in the dark so you can find it when it's not working.
Some of them will be the only way they can see it.
I'm going to hell. So here's
No, this is the ultimate. There's from a viewer here. A MAGA mother wore a t-shirt. My son died from COVID and I still won't get the vaccine.
Are you effing kidding me right now?
That's,
Who
you know
would make a
what?
shirt like that, first of all?
But hey, pro-life.
It's
We don't want you to kill an embryo.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let
that's
me
right.
have the
Pro-life,
freedom
pro-life.
to kill my
Yeah,
own
that's-
kid because I refuse to get him vaccinated.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, though, I'm
hard.
going to correct something in the chat where somebody says it's mostly white. No, it is not, because you've got a lot of, this is hitting a lot of different demographics. Let's talk about, I understand in the African-American community, there has been a lot of ill done towards us
Exactly.
in the name and vein of medicine. I have a friend right now getting ready to get married in New York. Half of her family is like, we're not going because the venue is requiring that you be vaccinated. And her family is not going to go to her wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got like, and I know a lot in the Latinx community. There's a preponderance of just people getting sick, people not wanting to take the vaccine. So I can't blame this predominantly on the white issue. It's not. It's spreading across.
Yeah.
Thank you,
The
Jenn.
number one killer of police
Is COVID.
COVID.
And tomorrow, as we've got this
That's
Mercury Direct and Jupiter Direct, is the day where either they show up to work or they don't.
Yeah, that's huge.
So,
Yeah.
so that's a good win for AOC and the other progressives that are talking about defund the police. Well, we don't need to defund it because you all quit and are going for death cult versus your own health. So,
Yeah.
you know, problem
Well
solved.
One killer.
Problem solved. So here's a question. Donald Trump recently said to, people that are not intelligent that, hey, if you don't fix the 2020 election, then we are not going to, the Republicans are not
I love it.
I'm like, well, yes, finally, one thing I agree with. Yes, please.
Yeah, awesome. But we've got to not be too loud jumping up and down because he's a Gemini. Sorry, Johnny.
Yeah.
He'll just change like that. So as long as he goes with that, it's bliss.
Well, we have a dichotomy going on because we have the MAGA people saying don't vote for Republicans, because they didn't fix the election. And then you have the conservative Republicans, like the former governor of New Jersey, I forget her name, Christy Whitmore or something like that.
Yeah,
she was like, don't vote for Republicans until we get rid of all these quackanoners, and get the cult out of the Republican Party and return it to what it is. So you've got both sides of the Republican Party saying, don't vote Republican.
Yeah, it's the struggle for power between the gross conservative versus the new conservatives, which are just a bunch of conspiracy theorist whack jobs. You know, so that's going to be fun to watch. Make sure to tune in.
I was
So
thinking
is the
the same thing. I was like, I'm kind of secretly enjoying some of this a little
So
bit.
are we going to see like a low voter turnout with Republicans in 2022?
That's the question.
That was
That's the question.
because
2022, are we talking?
2022 for the
because he said
midterms.
we are not.
Oh
gonna
my
vote.
God.
We are not going to
yeah.
vote.
It's really extraordinary.
So will there be a low Republican voter turnout in 2022?
Like both sides of the Republican Party couldn't get together on a strategy, so they're both killing their own party.
Oh, it's lovely. It's like
We knew they were just going to eat each other, right? They're
Yeah.
just like eating like
Cannibalism.
the snake eats each other, eats
Yeah.
its own self, you know?
yes,
Well, we were reading last week on the cannibalism, like, will we start seeing them
Yeah.
suing each other within the Trump administration?
and it's not just that, but the Quackanoners going to war with the Crackanoners because now Lindsay, what's his face, the lawyer, is attacking Marjorie Taylor Greene. They're going back and forth with each other.
Lynn Wood.
Lynn
Wood.
Wood.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, oh, this
MAGAs have turned on Flynn, saying
On
General
Michael Flynn,
Flynn
too.
is a Satanist.
He's a
Well,
Satanist.
the words out of my mouth, but we were coming from the same position.
Thank you, Nicole.
I mean, he even pledged. He did that special Quackanon pledge, you know, with his family.
Yeah,
in his
he did
backyard,
all
and now
that.
they're- Yeah, and now they turned on him.
Yep.
Like, this is the monster you created, you know.
Oh, very generous people there. Thank you for that massive donation. You've done well.
And I agree. Somebody, hold on. Who just said it? Who just said it? The Virginia election is pretty big too, because you've got Stupid going against Terry McAuliffe, and right now it's not.
It's neck and neck, is it still?
Yeah.
Did you hear
Looking
Adrian,
bad.
the guy that they think might be the mastermind behind the Quackanoners is thinking about running for office in Arizona?
Well, that's cute. Good luck to
Yeah,
him.
that's
Yeah, that's adorable.
Yeah. like Marjorie Taylor Greene on steroids. Yes, please put another one in the house.
That's so fun.
So I get they're getting manipulated, and like, just keep talking, all these communication cards, because they're so immature. The party is like done. America's starting to see it for what it is, that it's all erratic, and they're getting the constituents are getting the crumbs. So it's like the end. I'm going to bed instead of voting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a big change in voter turnout for them.
Yeah. I get the same thing. This was set in motion. And we can't, even though it's slow motion for the chariot, this is in the past, it's a little too hard to back that bus up, because once the bus keeps rolling, albeit slowly, it's still rolling. It's hard to slow down. It actually starts off with the Seven of Pentacles. Is that Pentacles? Seven of Pentacles. So waiting for something to come to fruition, but it's just too emotional. Republicans are a little bit emotional right now. Is that a fair thing to
Just
say?
a touch.
Just a smidge. Four of Swords, they're not super happy with the options either. Because again, when you've got one side saying the election was stolen, it was rigged, don't vote, and you've got another person saying, hey, don't vote for these new kids. These are strange. Don't vote for them. Sit this one out. Wait until we get some new ones, but you haven't produced the new ones yet for people to vote for. That kind of creates a little bit of what I would like to call anxiety. People just don't know what to do, where to go. But the outcome ultimately is I get the Six of Pentacles reversed. So yeah, they're going to be withdrawing, holding out, not doing it. Disappointment. They're not going to share. They're not going to go out. It's just be careful. Like, I think that was Lena who was saying, be careful what you wish for. You're going to get it. And thank you, Jewel. And thank you, April, for the super chat.
Yeah, amazing.
So I can't even bop them on the head and say you're stupid for listening to Trump, blah blah blah, because Democrats did this too with the Bernie and bust and all the other little things, to where if you don't get the person we want, thank you, Anna, we're not voting either.
Good point.
It's more of an emotional problem. But as far as answering the question, I get the Four of Swords too and the Eight of Pentacles. There will be less of them. Their voters or their turnout, thank you, Garbo, with the Seven of Pentacles will be stringed with the Nine of Wands. So the problem comes from their leadership. their support. They don't believe in them. And that's kind of what happens, even on our side, is we start to think, oh, I don't believe in you. And then the midterms go to crap because somebody has convinced Democrats that Barack Obama's not doing such a good job, so let's not get involved. And then next thing you know, he's got a majority of Republicans in the Senate and the House. So that happens all the time to where people get disenfranchised. I just think this time it's going to happen on their side. So we shall see. But yeah, I think their voter turnout will struggle.
I think what they're attempting to be more transparent by sort of calling each other out, right? And then I get the tower card. Like they're screwed. They're screwing each other. They're screwing themselves, right? And it hurts. Okay. And then at the end, I just pulled 3 cards. It's betrayal.
Oh, is that Trump as a baby?
Just sitting on, like, just they don't get what you want. You can't figure it out. You screwed yourself over.
And you keep pooping your pants and nobody's changing it.
Yeah, a pile of it anyway.
Oh, funny. Yeah. Well, I'm using the Japaridze deck, and this has the wolves here for the 2 of Cups. This is, I think, they've taken their own voting base for granted for generations. They've taken that loyalty for granted. This is the actual GOP power plays, the wealthy who dominate the poorest states. Let's go back to basics, right? They're all in charge of the poorest states, but they've been sitting pretty for generations. Now the moon's coming into play in the sense of emotion, as well as cloudiness, obscurity, but emotion. And I too got the tower. I think they're going to have a very reduced turnout.
Yeah.
Between COVID and those deciding not to come.
Yeah.
There's another thing too, and I just this just hit me. Imagine how pissed off you're going to be when half of my family's dead because I listened to you when you told me to not take the vaccine. I listened to you when you said it was a hoax. Now, Mima, Papa, Johnie, Ricky, Bobby, Susie, they're sick or dead or impotent.
Well,
I'm pissed.
Adrian, let me give you a number. Yeah. One of my people was saying sister-in-law refused to get vaxxed. 2 people died at her workplace, small workplace. She still wouldn't get vaxxed. 4 people died. 5 people died. 7 people died. She would not get vaxxed. 9. It took 9.
Yeah.
And then she reluctantly went and bared the arm. So that's my new number. It appears they have to lose 9 people, either family or their acquaintance, to go, oh, well, maybe there's something.
The number I heard this week was that 1 in 7 children have lost a parent.
Wow.
Yes. Well, the COVID orphans, there's 120,000 just on figures I saw months ago. There have to be more.
Yeah.
COVID orphans. Geez,
sadly enough, fear is a motivator, and that's the only thing driving them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jewel, Anna, in chat.
Thank you. I get that the party that has a very small majority right now in the House is very successful. So that means that they're going to stay home, get lit, meaning drink, or literally get lit with some other stuff. So they're just gonna stay home. So.
Yeah. We buried our previous Fraternal Order of Police union guy this week. I think he was 67, maybe. The current one is fighting to get vaccinated, fighting to not require vaccination.
Yeah.
That's
craziness. I'll be back. I was only popping in for 10 minutes, but I'm now totally riveted.
We love your
He's like, I'm invested now.
The girl needs coffee.
It's interesting too, Ona, because I was seeing it on the news here in Beverly Hills, California. A whole the pro-life, don't kill the babies mob is chasing parents out of school, harassing them while they're walking their children home or to the car because the parent dare put a mask on a child for an airborne disease, because that's child abuse.
No.
but we don't want the children masks and get exposed and kill them that way. It's like, I don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Well, I think it's a manifestation of a very, very deep fear now, and it's a very desperate act to do that and to harass a stranger
with the child, Ona, with the child.
Yeah.
Like, why is that okay? Why is that okay?
Not. Those people are sick, and we're in this like post-war syndrome.
Yeah.
PTSD, like really profound PTSD. I was at a garden club meeting, and a woman came in. She's like, give me something to do, anything to do. I don't care if to clean up trash in a park. I got to get out of isolation's crazy. And I was like, wow, people are just so profoundly mentally exhausted.
Wow.
And some of it is manifesting that way, and that just attacking strangers, attacking people that don't align with what they believe in. I
know, but it's like it's almost like there's not polite society anymore, because you knew better a few years ago than to just roll up on somebody and start harassing them while they're picking up their kid.
But you got Trump and Fox News like pushing them. Go do an insurrection. Go harass people at school. Go harass the medical people. It's like insane. Right. They're just pushing them and pushing them.
That's just crazy to me, and it's so like, man, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. That's where we're learning how to sort of keep your space, keep your sovereign space. What does it mean? I don't know, but I didn't go crazy on anybody today. So I guess I'm okay. When I wanted to, I mean, I was a masked vigilante in the grocery stores. Now I'm like, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I just know what my status is. I respect your protocol. You want me to wear one? You really don't care. It doesn't matter. And just like, that is the only way I can keep my sanity, because if I start caring about what other people are doing, I will lose my shit all over the place.
Yeah.
I'll lose it all over.
I did not have a problem with lockdown. Did you have a problem with lockdown, Jenny, Johnie, Adrian? Like, I loved it. It's like, I don't have to be around people. I don't need to talk to people. I don't need to go. Sign me up. I will stay home for the rest of my life. Like, I did not care.
I was already quarantining because I work from home all the time, right? So
I did too.
It was no different. It was the same as before.
The only reason I go outside is because I can't eat my refrigerator. I need something in it, so that's the only reason I go outside. That's it.
Yeah. I'm kind of like at the point now where it's like, damn, this is gonna suck when they start lifting quarantine, and I'm gonna have to start like making the weekly, once a week drive to work for a meeting, and it's like, I really don't want that day to get here. It's so sick.
I like it. I like being able to go out there again. I like going out and doing the Reiki and doing cards in the streets and
doing all that social.
I really do. And I missed it. It was hard. I had a hard time. Everything was different. Everything changed.
I really liked it.
Hi, guys. I'm back.
Hi,
good news.
What?
We've just found out we are actually coming out of lockdown this Friday.
Oh, in Australia?
Whoa.
No, Australia's been fine. It's just my city has been in lockdown, longest in the world. Over 300 days in lockdown, no visitors, not being able to go more than 5 miles, nothing open. The rest of Australia's been partying.
You're like
300 days.
I'm being let out on Friday.
So there you go. There's the Mercury, Jupiter direct. Where are you going to go and take us with you?
Yes, I should. I'll run around Melbourne going, Mind you, it's been so long. We've all got Stockholm syndrome. We're all going, ooh. Planning to go out twice in a week. Ooh.
Yeah.
Living on the edge, Lena.
Yeah.
Traffic jam.
I just found that out that minute.
Fun time.
It's a honeymoon.
There is a God.
It's a honeymoon feeling. Yeah.
What other questions we have, Jenny?
Bannon did not honor his subpoena. So is he going to jail? Are they going to use him to set an example? Is he going to jail?
Did we catch on the criminal referral bingo a few weeks ago?
I think we said, because I think we read on this live stream that I did. I think we said somebody said he was going to show up. So they would have lost some money. I should have put a wager on it.
So he did not show up. I haven't even, he's so gross. He's got that thing that, like, Linus from Peanuts, that like cloud around him, that there's
cloud. You mean Pigpen?
Like Pigpen. It's just like always sort of.
And like if they don't go hard on him, they're not going to go hard on any of the others who are serving members of Congress and stuff. He's the outlier. He's the rogue.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I hate this question. I hate it.
So what is it? Is Steve going to...
Is he going to end up in jail on a criminal referral? Because they're
let's just
voting
back
on
up
it
a minute.
Tuesday.
What is jail? Like, just like there's rich poor, it's very different from poor, and there's rich jail.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, you mean like the rich jail, like the country club. You go to the country club.
Yes.
Play a few rounds of golf, Or you mean like
apparently doesn't because I'm not a lawyer, doesn't contempt of court or Congress just land you in a holding cell?
Does it? Or you go to jail? Because remember, there was that lady that the Republicans threw in jail under Clinton because she didn't comply with the subpoena, and they threw her ass in prison. Yeah. She showed up in an orange jumpsuit.
Now, prison is felony. Jail is misdemeanor. Did she go to prison or did she just go to a holding cell?
Can someone tell us in the chat, please?
Because he can go to jail, but then get out in 30 minutes.
Bonded out. Right.
Yeah. Or even 3. That's what I'm worried about. Jail is not one thing. Yeah.
They can hold him in contempt, but they vote Tuesday in Congress, but then it gets referred to DOJ to prosecute. So it's up to DOJ.
And apparently there's inherent contempt and criminal contempt. And they've gone for criminal contempt. I hope they know what they're doing.
I know, right?
Seems unlikely.
So what is the question then? Is he gonna go to prison? Or is he gonna be what's the question?
Yeah,
is he going to get arrested?
Yeah.
Is he gonna get arrested? Let's see if they'll even hold him.
What about will he be forced to testify? Does that get around the issue?
Well, they're supposed to be forcing him now with the subpoena.
With the subpoena.
Yeah.
He's just not
show up. Yeah.
Nobody enforcing.
So will they arrest him?
See, the jail question to me, if he sits in jail for 3 days and
it's perfect. He's a martyr.
Plays on his phone, that's not going to cut it.
No. That's their only option.
Yeah.
Patricia, hi Patricia. PS and Tough. PS and Tough. Patricia is saying that ignoring a subpoena from Congress is a felony. Mm-hmm. So that would be prison, not like jail, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't have a criminal record, but
and CC just said Congress can first basically have the sergeant of arms come knock on your door, put you.
Someone said there's a cell where McDougal spent time on the Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there's cells in the Capitol building.
Yeah. Sure.
So let's see. Is he going to get arrested? Okay.
Yeah, Chris asks, he has the right to plead the fifth. Why doesn't he just go and do that?
Right.
Because he's a defiant a-hole.
But doesn't that, though, open him up for something else if he goes in and pleads the fifth?
Because when you plead the fifth, you can't do this. I forget what it is because I took note of it during the Bridgegate scandal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The people who pled the fifth couldn't plead something else. You can't plead innocent and plead the fifth. So you still get some sort of jail time because you were not deemed innocent or something of that nature. So, Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Marie.
Oh, Lord.
These people.
I get they're going to go after him fast because they offered him the subpoena and he's just being belligerent and emotional. So yeah, I get they're going to go after him fast. It may take just a little while to get it to court. And there may be some obstacles in court to overcome, but I get eventually, they move into action on him, put him away for a little bit, and maybe before, like that's indicting him for criminal contempt or whatever for before sentencing. He may get a little more cooperative, but I get he'll lie.
Oh,
here's the story on McDougal. She was one of 15 people convicted in the Whitewater conspiracy. She spent 22 months in jail, 18 of which were for contempt of court.
And here you go. Come on, Dams. Let's repeat history. This was an insurrection. I think we have a little bit of a reason to throw this guy in jail. What'd you get, Adrian?
He probably will. Something, Eight of Pentacles, something is going to come to fruition. He's going to feel out in the cold and heartbroken. I'll also get the sun, some illumination, positivity. Yeah, because I asked, because it ended with, oh, Jesus Christ, what did it end with? Whatever card, I shuffled them all around. Basically, it was like, because it was the Three of Swords. It's like, who's going to be unhappy? Is it us or is it going to be him? And it's him. We're going to be the ones that are celebrating. So there you go.
Oh, that's weird. I got all of that. That's weird.
You got the same cards, Lena. I got the same freaking cards. As soon as the Knight of Swords and everything after, I got the same cards. Like, I'm out.
Yeah.
There's a theme with that. Swords, Judgment, the Five of Cups, right? And I got Magician.
Yeah. Wow.
Johnie. Yes.
Oh, look.
And the Sun.
Yeah, Devil, Justice, Sun.
The freaking Sun.
Major Arcana. Set an example.
I got the sun too.
Yep.
Yep.
Wow.
Example with the.
There's a difference. I don't know the exact difference because I'm not reading all this. But there is a difference between pleading the fifth as a criminal defendant in a civil case and as a witness. So if he goes and pleads the fifth, then we'll have to, minimize exactly what's going on. But
wait a minute.
Is that what the Five of Cups could be? Pleading the fifth, Adrian? What do you think? You got Five of Cups. I got Five of Cups. Pleading the fifth.
Because Sun's not gonna work out, because there was something to me when I got the Three of Swords. It wasn't like he is completely butt up. Like there's something that he has to give up, but he's also going to be able to hold. I keep hearing self-preservation. There's something he'll be able
playing some kind of card.
Do so that very well could be that, Lena.
And that's what pleading the fifth is so that you don't self-incriminate.
Yeah.
This is a thing.
It's admission of guilt, basically.
Yeah.
I always think about Mark Furman. I always think about Mark Furman when he was like, they're like, did you plant evidence? I'm executing my constitutional right to plead the fifth. Okay, well, did you do this? I'm exercising I'm like, bruh, come on, man.
Like, what all did you do?
Katie Porter would wade in and say, I'm taking that as a no or a yes. She would just say it,
I get that.
Oh, someone pointed out if he does go to jail, no booze. Well,
look at what I got.
That would be his biggest thing.
I get it. Yes, there's an abundance of legal issues for him. So, Congress, courts, DOJ,
and then they can go after his pardon and revoke that.
Oh, okay. So Greta, is that why you're saying he can't plead the fifth? I think this is coming because that's what I was thinking. Once you've been pardoned, can you plead the fifth? Because then doesn't that?
I don't think you can on the same issue, but this is different. He was jailed for stealing money from the wall mob, and this is different. So,
and here I have a financial institution as well, and then him.
Yeah,
so I'm wondering if I don't know. But what role did he play in it exactly? Because he got fired from the administration. Was it in 2017?
Yeah, around whenever.
Wasn't
Or 18,
Breitbart
maybe.
one of the biggest perpetuators of they've got evidence saying that Breitbart was like teaching people where to go and what time to show up?
What?
Yeah.
I think that's primarily why they're bringing him in, is because the role Breitbart played with it.
And he said he helped organize it. Like this not even rumor. He said it.
It's out of his mouth.
Oh, you're right, Johnny. Yeah. What I got on this was really weird. Like, this is him tightrope walking, tossing the balls in the air. Everything's fine. Then the bats come down on his sorry ass. Right? The Three of Swords, and I had the same question there. Whose heart is broken? And I've never seen this before with these cards that I do. It's El Nemico, the enemy for a man. El Nemica, the female version of the enemy. So what are the chances of pulling both of those side by side as clarifiers? So he's got enemies that he didn't know he had, I would say, as well as those he does know about. So I think there's another twist in this tale.
Huh.
So Hilda has a question then. What, maybe we can go from this point of view. What does Nancy Pelosi want to do in regards to Steve Bannon?
Because they have to vote.
And all of them who don't turn up?
Well, I guess just him, since we
Just
can
him?
shrink it down. Or maybe all who don't turn up, because she does need to set an example. It's her investigation.
He's the only one that truly cannot claim executive privilege because he was no longer in the
He was fired in 2017.
And he never had an official position. He wasn't.
Someone just said he did run the war room during the impeachment. So even though he'd been sacked, he was pulled back to do that.
So what was the question, Johnny? What
does Nancy Pelosi want to do in regards to those who do not honor subpoenas?
I think it's kind of clear by what Adam Schiff has been going around and saying on the news, like, we're going to prosecute these guys. He's been on MSNBC a lot and CNN.
The problem is, it all comes back to the DOJ now, and we know half of them are rotten. And this is really, does Merrick Garland have the cojones to direct the DOJ? Because you can be damn sure Bill Barr used every power in the book and then invented some to undo the democracy. This is really on Garland's watch.
Yeah.
I was thinking that same thing right before you said it. I was like, if we're leaving up to DOJ, we're kind of screwed. Because
it's not even what Nancy wants. I'm sure we'd love to share her fantasies last thing at night before she goes to bed. But that's not what's going to happen to them. It's what the DOJ does.
Now, the DOJ at the moment does not have a case until something's referred to them, because this is their investigation for right now anyway. And then I guess whatever they conclude, they give to Garland, and then Garland either shreds it or does something about it.
Exactly. Or does a little something when he needs to do a big something. That's my biggest fear.
That's mine too, Lena.
Yeah.
I get Nancy's got support for treason, like she's feeling victorious. She wants to return a balance to the government.
Yeah, I have that. She has support. She has backup. She's got, right now there's not a lot, but she's kind of disappointed with the progress maybe, but there's King of Wands. And to me, that's somebody that's your backup. That's your, protector.
So I'm going to shuffle while y'all are going and see what Garland's intentions will be once he gets a directive from Congress.
I get what Auntie Nan wants is 5 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, Lovers, everybody who's siding with Trump, all of these people who are not going. She wants, y'all need to pay for this. You need to be stuck. Even the people who know they need to do the right thing but are a little too scared to do it. No, she wants to lay down the hammer. and make this a role with the Three of Wands, setting this plan to do that, because she wants us to get Six of Swords better. We've got to get better as a country, is what I heard.
Yeah.
This is what I want from this. What I want selfishly. This is what I want for the country. That's what I felt.
So just a comment here from Roxana. Nancy would want blindfolds, cigarettes, and a sunrise.
That's true.
I don't get arrested. I get the Four of Swords instead. So this is kind of like put them in timeout. She wants the testimony. This is how she's going to build a case to take to the DOJ, or to take to the altar and talk to Jesus, wherever it is she wants to take it. It's fine to throw the book at them and say, okay, if you don't come in, then I'm going to make you personally pay. With the Knight of Coins and the Four of Swords, there's some sort of fine and a little sale and some bars and that type of thing. But I still need your testimony. I still need you to talk, because we're trying to actually progress with the Chariot card. We are trying to actually move forward. It's just hard to do because I need what's in your head to come out your mouth. And so if I constantly just put you in jail, then we get nowhere. And so there is here with the Moon and the Nine of Wands, that's kind of her fight that she's going to have to keep fighting, unfortunately, because they don't want to cooperate. Why would they want to cooperate? So I understand. But there's the Moon. There's no clear path to the ending. The Nine of Wands, the stress and strain, is going to keep happening. She's going to have to keep making examples, and then all this type of stuff. I say keep doing it. If they're going to keep pushing you up against the wall, then push them behind the bars. I say that, but I understand she still needs the testimony. None of this is worth it without somebody saying something. The good part is not all of the players are household names. The 13 subpoenas that went out, that woman who's on the committee, I forget her name, she was on Art Melber. She said a lot of them are talking, and some of them say, give me a subpoena, because I want, the reason I come talk to you is because you made me. And so I have a lot to say, but I want something to say, you made me talk to you. That way I can tell my testimony, all that type of stuff. So people are still cooperating, even though all the big names are not. But so it's not all for nothing. No.
Are we at the cover your own ass portion of the, for those people? CY, what is it?
CYA.
CYOA? Yeah, cover your ass, cover your own ass. Yeah.
Yes, Mother Teresa, that is exactly what I meant.
I get that she's not going to put up with the gaslighting, the just shutting stuff down. It moves forward. There's a transfer, stuff gets transferred, and the fighting and the argument continues. It moves forward. It's not like, well, what happened when Trump was there, when he had the DOJ and William Barr and nobody, and it was just like, that's not there anymore. It's going to be hard, but she's still going to deliver the arguments. It's still going to be referred somewhere. It's still going to move. It's not getting stopped. You see what I'm saying? So I
have a general question, not something we need to read on. I heard a name I haven't heard in forever, and I'm just curious. Has anybody heard from William Barr? Where's Fred Flintstone?
Fred Flintstone?
He's on my list for my next reading, because I had the same thought last night. We're sharing a brain here.
We are. Up and down squares, so we're just we're talking to each other. Because I was just like, I haven't heard Freddie Flintstone's name in a very long time. Where is he?
He keeps popping up too on the news, like William Barr, but
he's laying low.
Yeah, he's laying real low.
I just threw cards on Will Garland move into action on the directives of Congress. I get a big fat yes. Yeah, move into action.
Oh, is that our next
take them to court, take them to jail.
Good. Is that our
next question?
No, that was something Jenn pulled on. We still got to do Ona and Lena on this one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Which one? Yeah, me. I put all the cards away. That was like a half an hour ago. Nancy. She's disappointed right now. Okay. But she's got herself in a situation no matter what, she can't get herself out of, right? She's got to work on that. And we got Knight of Cups. There's assistance.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like that
It's
card.
got too much of an emotional pull. This isn't something that you can just sort of let go and kind of. This is a big deal.
Hmm. Me?
Yes,
ma'am.
I think just the way it's gone to not what Nancy wants, but her greatest fear. It's the only way I can make sense of these cards, really. Okay, so Steve Bannon, we've got the devil, this camera, and the Joker.
Yeah.
And wanting to set it all on fire because that's his style, right? So where Nancy comes in, the Hierophant pulling out their best shot that government can do, she's worried it's not enough. And not without reason, she's really worried that this is, catastrophic. If they do not sort out this round of subpoenas, it's all over Red Rover. We may as well embrace the Banana Republic status because it's not a functioning independent judicial system that can bring people to the table. It's real. This is her big fear, right? That it could be that bad. So it's certainly not Nancy holding up the works here, She's worried, very worried.
Should we follow up how Jenny followed up and see if Merrick Garland, because the House votes Tuesday, right? To see if they're going to hold Bannon.
Tuesday, I think someone said in the thing.
Yeah, so
Your
they vote.
Tuesday.
The House votes Tuesday to see if they're going to hold what's his face in contempt, and then once that gets voted on, which we're all anticipating it's going to be a yay, it gets to the DOJ, and then DOJ moves it next. So I'm gonna read on that one real quick.
Yeah.
So what is it? Is Carla gonna?
The Department of Justice
fight for the country or not?
Yeah, pretty much what Lena says.
Let's talk about how bad of a precedent this sets if they don't.
Yeah, look, exactly.
It's rough.
It's huge. Because this is 4 or 5 years in the making of people thumbing their noses at subpoenas. This is the new world order with the new government. So if it's business as usual and I just don't want to testify, the country is in deep trouble.
Good Lord.
Well, there's my DOJ card. Hi, DOJ.
I mean, this is
the DOJ. Oh, come on, Merrick Garland. This is the one that knows.
Yeah, I think he's a good guy.
Okay. Oh, mercy.
Johnie, what did you get?
I start with the Three of Swords. And then I'm like, okay, how do we spin the Three of Swords into the Sun Brigade? But I get the Nine of Pentacles and the High Priestess, Ace of Cups, and King of Swords.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my thing. I think, yes, there is a case brought by the DOJ against insurrectionists and possibly even Donald Trump, if they can prove such a thing. But the problem is it does not look the way we think it does. So some of us out here may be like, we want them to try them for treason, or we want them sedition, or vandalism, whatever, but it's something else. And we may be a bit perturbed at what they actually charge people with. So there's a case there in the DOJ from the January 6th Commission investigation from the House. but I don't think it looks the way we want it to. But it does look some sort of way. It goes more after money and connection with the Nine of Pentacles and the King of Swords, and secret agendas with the crowd of people. So these may include members of Congress and things of that nature. And we'll get some major names out of this. But again, I don't think, let's say, for instance, you get gangrene. You charge her with something. We want you to charge her with sedition or inciting a riot, but she gets charged with
shoplifting.
Something like that. So it's kind of like you could throw the book and the desk at her, but it's more along the lines of an emotional reaction. We don't like these people, and therefore we want to see them suffer underneath the heaviest brands of justice you can find, because if it was I or any of you, then we would have been under the jail 2 times over. So that's kind of where this comes in, is we get a bit disappointed on what they're handed, even though they're handed something. Donald Trump was impeached but not removed. So we like that part, but not the other part.
Yeah. I can't spin crap into sugar the way you did with my cards. I'm just gonna say it's not a good look. Starts off, I think there may be some disappointment. Starts off with the devil crossed with the 2 of Wands. Here's the part that perturbs me the most. Somebody wanting to get away with the 8 of Pentacles 8 of Cups at the base, and the 5 of Swords at the top crown. So trying to get away the Knights because you're gonna win by any means necessary. Immediate future has got the 5 of Wands. So Jesus Christ, 3 of Swords, secrets within the government with the High Priestess and the Hierophant. But something does come to fruition. So maybe that's my positive way to spin it. Maybe the work is going to get done. They'll do the work and it'll come together. But I'm not getting nothing too positive with this.
So you guys are getting that, yes, but instead of throwing the book at you, we're going to handle you with Kid Club.
Yeah, I've got a version of that here too. Got the Wheel of Fortune, meaning it's a big deal. It is a turning point. That's what I'm saying. The 7 of Swords, the theft of democracy. Now, this is the Stranger of Fire, as it's called in this deck, which is, again, that explosive Steve Bannon energy really around it. Now, here comes the Star, my USA card, like it just makes it through. And this is someone holding the flame or holding the candle. So to me, it's like he manages to tap dance around what Johnie was saying, what we'd like to do. But there will be some repercussions, just enough to keep the public on board, to have some faith. Keep the flame.
I get that the results from the courts or the institution itself, the government, is successful, but it's like wishful thinking, sort of, because it goes in a different. I could be wrong. I'm never all that.
Now, trendsetters, I have to go off into the day. It's been a great session and a happy, happy, happy birthday, Becca.
Yeah, I'm going to go too. Thank you so much. So much. Love reading with you.
Oh, it's been such a buzz.
Thank
you all very much.
Bye, Lena and Nona.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao. Bye.
I pretty much got the same thing for that last week, and I'm gonna, and it is honestly the card on top was we're hoping for, it really repeating King of Pens or King of Swords, the same sort of configuration. We've got the 10 of Cups. We've got a lot of hopes, and then the end result really is smeared up sort of emotions over it. A little disappointment, reaching for, but not really crazy about what you got.
Yeah.
Even though the 9 of Cups is a card, that picture just looks like somebody who's like kind of not really getting it.
Mhm.
You know. All right, I'm gonna get going. I gotta wrap up the night.
Okay.
See you again, Ona.
Bye, Ona.
You too. Love you. And Johnny, we're gonna, I forgot to mention, we're gonna get together. I'm gonna get together on Johnny's channel to do some kind of fun energy read or something cool, whatever you've got on your lineup. I'm so happy and honored to be asked to do that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for agreeing.
Thank you.
There we go.
Ona.
We'll see you guys soon. Thank you. Love you. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So I have a follow-up question.
Uh-huh.
Does Merrick Garland have control of his team? Because, he's got Lisa Monaco and what was the other lady that came in under him? He's got like 3 women under him, but there's also like Trump people in there still. Does he have control of his team at DOJ? Are they all on the same page, or is he having problems because they're not all on the same page?
That's a good question, Jen. Thank you, Passing Show. Because I would use that as an out. If I didn't have control and there were still some Trumpsters, and then there's, the news cycle is saying, hey, people are kind of, dissatisfied with the job the DOJ is doing, I would snitch like a rabbit. Like, listen, but I got 5 people who, it's not my fault, but maybe I don't have that much integrity. So the baseline.
I thought I would always be, if I were to ever be a politician, I would be the blame game politician. Okay, you wanted such and such bill passed. Okay, here are the people who said no. And then here's their numbers, call them. Here's their offices, go visit. Like, you can't, I know that as the leader, you're supposed to take on everything. But if stuff is hitting the fan, then
At that level,
here's why. Like, I'm going to give you the reason why.
Oh, and by the way, here's a full list of all the donors that are paying him to block that bill. Joe Manchin.
Yeah.
Kristen Sinema. Yeah.
You got to get a little dirty sometimes in the game of politics, and I would be a little filthy.
I mean,
Rolling around in the mud, Adrian.
Just a little bit, y'all. Look like a pig in slop. I'm just saying. There's something there.
He's got whistleblowers within the DOJ. I'm getting big time. It's like he knows he still has Trump emissaries and he's trying to charge in with the investigations, but he's still a little bit stuck because of the people that Trump put in. Thank you, Carmela. So there's a restructuring that he's wanting to do, but he's trying to do it in a way without getting emotions overgoing. It's like he wants it to look right to America is how I'm getting it. Because there's been too many cover-ups by the emissaries to the kings. Thank you, Catherine. He gets strength, and he's looking at the corruption differently, with a different perspective, because he wants to bring change, and he does have support for the way that he is going after the investigations. He does have like-minded people there, and I get a big yes card on that. But there's some people doing some work that are going to go bye-bye. So he knows he's still got to restructure and get some people out.
Yeah, because there's people too who have been bought and paid for, because that's his challenge with his King of Pentacles. They've got plans. So everything that he's trying to do, they're trying to thwart, cause confusion, muck up the water with the 7 of Cups. In the emotions, though, like Jen was saying, there are people who agree with him and want to help him do right, get good, get back on this righteous path. But there's how to go about it is what's kind of the issue, because like Jen said, there are the icky stickies there left over from the Trump administration. It's causing a lot of anxiety, I would say, either for him and for the people who again, are on the side of wanting to do right. Their word of warning, though, is temperance, because again, this isn't just people who are in the know who are bought and paid for, but they've got ill intent. And so how do you do this the right way? But the end, like, I think I agree with Jenn. There's going to be a major change. I think he'll be able to get some of these defectors out. Here's the caveat, though. Just because they get out, don't think he's going to have this fast track to doing things that we want him to do. We're going to be a little nostalgic. Six of Cups. Just because they're out, there is a major change. It's not going to it may not necessarily reflect it. We may not see it. They will feel better. They're working better together, but we're still going to be sitting here like, where's the subpoenas, my dude? Like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Assessing the situation with the Seven of Pentacles is the first card I get. He does know who is who and where is who. He does know these things with the High Priestess, the Knight of Pentacles. He knows where your bread is buttered and all that type of stuff. So he's not a stupid man whatsoever. He does know what's going on within the DOJ. It's just not fully in his control because, you know, the devil does have his minions, and his spawn is running within the DOJ because they are left over. They are seeded from the previous administration. But there will be what's the word? It's a methodical way to sort of cleanse the DOJ. But this takes time, so give him some time. But like Adrian said, that does not mean it becomes the greatest thing ever. Thank you, Miss Lady. Just because he got them out.
I get that there's a woman, I don't know who she is, around him that's giving him feedback about what's going on in the network. Like, she reports to him. I don't know who that is. Don't ask me, but I get a yes. There's a woman that gives him feedback about what's going on in the
different divisions of it.
So, okay. So can I ask a funny question now?
Yes.
Comes with a story. Okay. So I've been reading a book. For Halloween.
Becca has been reading a crazy book, is what Becca's been reading. Okay, finish your story.
So I'm like, give me all the scary stuff. I want to scare the shit out of myself. So I am reading this book, The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. Well, okay. How did the rats get into the garage to kill the grandma? Because Johnie will not tell me his theory. Like, I was texting and I was like, Johnie, check what happened out in this book. And I was like telling him, like,
so there's this woman, there's a vampire, right? He has one name. There's this old lady. She called him by another name, to which he probably got a little, oh my God, she knows who I am.
Hoyt Pickens, what you doing with these Hoyt Pickens?
And so all of a sudden, a whole horde of mice get into her house and eat her alive.
Alive. I'm like, how
did they get into the house? What happened? Is this coincidence?
I'm like,
she apparently didn't have a Lucy cat.
No.
Because Jenny, the way that it's described in the book, it was like a sea of rats, a sea of them, you know, and it's like, how sick of an author do you have to be to kill a grandma that has dementia like that in a book? Like, why couldn't you let her die peacefully? Like,
with a sea of rats.
So my theory is, this is my theory. I'll tell you now, since you're spoiler alerting all of us, I will tell you now. And this is what shows up in my cards. Maybe I've influenced it. But there is a night stalker, a night walker, a night whoever with the moon. The person who wanders the night, right? Who may be known by two different identities. Got fire and water. Completely two different people. He did it. There was a fight there. Now, I think what happened is she recognizes him from who knows however long ago, because she's an old lady. And so she probably knew him back in the 40s or whatever, because he's immortal. She recognized him. He does not want his identity to be revealed to anybody, therefore he killed her. And he's going to keep doing that to anybody who finds out who he is. That's my theory.
Yes, well, that's what I was thinking too. But my question was, how did the freaking that?
He let them in.
He let them in because Johnie, you were saying that they knew each other.
Yeah, she knew him.
Yeah,
She knows him by a different name.
Yeah, 2 of Cups. He took her out, wanted to win by any means necessary. He let them in.
But like, where in the hell would you find that many rats?
Well, he's also, you have to keep this in mind too, as a vampire. It's not traditional because vampires is a myth anyway, so everybody changes what they can do. This one can be killed by garlic. Oh, now all of a sudden they can't. So they do sort of have minion over creatures like this, rats and bats and swarms of cockroaches and things like that. They can do these type of things.
I've never heard that myth about vampires having dominion over like rats.
Yeah, so they have, because they do it over people. And so they can do it over creatures. They have vampire seduction. That's what it's called. Vampires don't ever want to sleep with people. They just want to draw you close so they can bite you. And so that's what they do to creatures.
Rats can eat through wood too.
Yeah.
So they could eat through a door or something, or through the siding or whatever and get in. But I get her death here on the bottom. Like, she knew him in a romantic way is what I get in the past. Like something, and regretfully, slip of the tongue, said something to him, when she said his other name. So he moved all the rats in, got them moving, go forward, create havoc.
That's just terrible. I mean, the worst.
Blocking him from the house. He had access to bring the change and victory. So he brought.
That's just terrible. I'm done with this shit. Like,
he's not Mother Teresa either. So there you go.
But couldn't you just smother her in her sleep? No, you had to let the old lady get eaten alive by rats.
Because if she got smothered, then that's a homicide.
Right.
Yeah.
If she got eaten by rats, you know who to blame.
That's a rough death. Yeah.
He's horrible, but he's not stupid.
Right. Kind of like Trump in some ways.
He's got a whole horde of rats and
he's got bed bugs. I don't think they're very harmful, but wouldn't it be great if he got eaten by Oh God, that'd be great. Well,
wait a minute. I got a whole page of announcements. I didn't do it at the beginning. I got to do it now. Okay. So October 21st, 7 Central, Adrian and Lori are going live on Adrian's channel, right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. October the 23rd, I will be with Joanne Eisen on her channel at 5 p.m. Eastern. It's called Reach the Unlimited. Google it in the thing. On my channel on the 24th, that would be next week, Sunday, we will be live. I think Lena will be joining us again. On the 25th will be my first conversation session. We will be talking about spirits, angels, guides, and ancestors with Lori, Sienna, and Jenn Lynn Tarrats. And then on the October 26th at 10 a.m. Central, Jody and Jenn will be live with Sacred Sounds of Coffee on Jenn Lynn's channel.
No, on Jody's channel.
On Jody's channel, thank you.
Jody Roberts.
And then on the 29th, we will be talking energy healing and all things energy healing. At 7 p.m., Jody and Jenn. That's on all of these. All of my conversation thingies are on Friday, 7 p.m.
Except for the first one that's on a Monday.
The first one, that's on a Monday. I want to try to get one out to see how it would go. October the 30th, we will be with Sienna doing weird questions on her channel. I think it's 3 p.m. Mountain Time. November the 5th will be my conversation about tarot and other divination practices. November 19th, we will be talking about toxic people. December the 3rd will be our free will discussion. December 17th, we will be talking about ego, YouTube, and fame. December 31st will be the last one. This one's going to be earlier in the day, as we do a big giant live stream usually on New Year's Eve. So it'll be about magic, herbs, and crystals. So that's mine.
And Halloween night, we're celebrating our 2-year anniversary of Sunday Night Live in costume.
In costumes.
You guys
with snacks. plenty of candies with Johnie, Jenny, myself, and Olga, Hilda. Who else? The family, the whole family is there. John.
Olga, that's Olga. This is Fat Man up here because he's a skeleton. There's Jack back there, and the devil's hanging on the wall.
Wow. Full house. Well, I want to thank Adrian and Ona and Lena that came over for my birthday. Happy birthday to you again, Adrian. And
happy birthday to you, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Anytime. Thank you for everybody that super chatted. You know what? To be honest, I'm like a little bit off, and I think it's because it's like the Mercury retrograde thing. Mm-hmm. Like my brain is just, you know, like not even a full like a of something in there, and I'm just like, my brain is really dumb today. So I'm sorry if I was just off a little bit. Mercury
I think there's vodka in that cheese. That's what that.
That's probably what it is.
Vodka and the cheese. That's so good.
That's what it is.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.